Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 622 based on novel. So let's start. This point was Wang Lin's peak power. Not only did it contain his avatar in the void, but also the full power of his soul armor. Wang Lin's 5-element true body and thunder essence true body appeared. Even his 3 ethereal essences appeared, forming 3 large vortexes behind him. All the force entered his finger. Due to the formation created by the golden light and the sword fragment, Wang Lin could erupt the power of his avatar in the void to its limit. Wang Lin wanted to use this to kill the person behind the finger. Wang Lin has always been like this. If someone tried to kill him, he would kill them. The wind and snow echoed across the long street. The finger that appeared from the void suddenly collided with Wang Lin's finger filled with slaughter. In the snow and wind, when the 2 fingers collided, Wang Lin's ancient Dao power surged. It was the first to collide with the other finger. Thunderous rumbles echoed. The 98 afterimages from the 5 spell veins fused into one and, along with the power of the heavenly bull, formed the second shockwave against the finger. Thunderous rumbles echoed across the world like thunder in the silent night. This caused Empyrean Exalt High Z, who was rushing in to help, to stop, and she was unable to move forward. The finger paused for a moment and its veins bulged. It seemed like it could not withstand Wang Lin's finger. However, this was not over. Wang Lin's 5-element true body, thunder essence true body, and the 3 ethereal essences formed the third shockwave. This attack contained Wang Lin's lifetime of comprehension of Dao. Thunderous rumbles echoed and blood flowed down from Wang Lin's finger. However, he didn't flinch, he let out a roar and rushed forward. The 4th wave came from Wang Lin's avatar in the void. This force came from Wang Lin's eyes and turned into golden light that shrouded his fingertip. Due to the surrounding yin blade fragments reflecting light, Wang Lin's finger became golden. A golden finger? The peak of power caused the other finger to resist for a moment and then suddenly collapse. However, just as the finger collapsed, a calm voice echoed in the world. Because there is loss, once it reforms, there will be existence. As these words echoed, the collapsed finger reformed as if nothing had happened, and it collided with Wang Lin's finger once more. Because there is existence, it will become null once it is lost. The moment the 2 fingers touched, Wang Lin's ancient Dao power disappeared as if it had turned to null. In addition, the spells he had gathered and the power of the heavenly bull also disappeared as if they had been blown out of existence. Even his 5-element true body and the thunder essence true body disappeared under this strange force. However, his 3 ethereal essences remained. These 3 essences were the earliest of Wang Lin's essences. They represented Wang Lin's entire life of comprehension. This understanding of life and death, karma, and true and false was not something any force could dispel. What also remained was the golden light from Wang Lin's avatar in the void. Thunderous rumbles echoed and blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. As he was knocked back, he waved his right hand and the yin blade fragment formation flew toward the finger that had collapsed, but it looked like it was going to reform a 3rd time. Thunderous rumbles echoed across the long street and the snow seemed to stop. The finger that was about to reform collapsed once more but showed signs of reforming for the 4th time. Wang Lin retreated quickly and arrived at the end of the street. This was the edge of the seal, he just needed to break this spot to leave the street and escape this trap. However, just as he closed in, there were ripples from the houses on both sides of the street and 100 figures appeared. These 100 figures all revealed in different gazes. The moment they appeared, all of them raised their hands and bows appeared, aiming at Wang Lin. They all pulled their bowstrings and 100 snow arrows condensed on them. As the 100 snow arrows condensed, the 100 people coughed out blood into their respective arrows. Then their bodies rapidly withered as if those mouthfuls of blood had absorbed all their life force. Death cultivators. Wang Lin's pupils shrank. Everyone that had appeared in this trap, aside from the finger, was a death cultivator. They had all used death as the price to set up this terrifying trap. Wang Lin had encountered this kind of situation many times before, but none of them were like this. In all those previous times, the people that were after Wang Lin cared about their own lives, but these people didn't care if they died. In the blink of an eye, the bodies of the 100 figures disappeared, not even their bones remained. However, when they died, the arrows were released and 100 buzzing sounds echoed. As the buzzing echoed, the 100 blood snow arrows flew toward Wang Lin from all directions. They turned into 100 rays of light and instantly closed in, giving Wang Lin no chance to dodge. Wang Lin let out a roar. His hands formed a seal and he pushed them outward. His white hair went crazy and his clothes fluttered. A golden sun appeared in the windy and snowy night behind Wang Lin. The moment the sun appeared, the long street disappeared and the entire world became the dark sea. The sun rose, releasing the power to dispel the darkness. Sundered night. The moment this spell appeared, the incoming 100 blood arrows seemed to fuse with the darkness and were torn apart along with the darkness. Thunderous rumbles continued to echo. Wang Lin's voice echoed in the rumble. I believe all darkness will be destroyed before the light. I believe all existence will go extinct under the rising sun. I believe that all void and null will be unable to enter reincarnation. As Wang Lin spoke, the golden sun around his body shined even more brightly and the 100 arrows collapsed. Even the finger that had reformed for a third time released hissing sounds and large amounts of black gas. Every existence will become null. When the finger landed, this mysterious voice echoed. However, under the finger, Wang Lin suddenly looked up. The madness in his eyes became even stronger and showed no signs of dissipating. Destroying is to make all existence null. With your mere power, you dare to make me disappear. Wang Lin raised his right hand and threw a punch. With his punch, a large amount of ripples appeared in the void and a faint, muffled groan echoed, sounding as if someone was injured. The finger that was pointing at Wang Lin immediately collapsed. Just as the finger disappeared, thousands of blurry figures appeared on both sides of the street. After they appeared, they all charged at Wang Lin. The cruelty on his smile was strong and the madness in his eyes was monstrous. He turned and his black hair grew even longer. His hair split into countless strands and spread in all directions before touching the thousands of figures closing in. Thunderous echoes rumbled. The moment the thousands of figures were touched by the black hair, they decided to self-destruct. This created a vortex of destruction that shrouded Wang Lin. As the rumbles echoed, Wang Lin coughed out a large amount of blood, but the bombardment was being resisted by the countless slaughter thunderbolts around him. Thousands of figures appeared on the street again, and another batch of thousands of people appeared behind them. They were intent on making this trap successful. Wang Lin's expression was fierce and he let out a roar at the sky. His right hand grabbed something off his chest. Heavenly Bull's soul armor, get out of here. With a roar, his right hand pulled off the Heavenly Bull soul armor. He no longer had the Heavenly Bull soul armor on his body. After the armor was thrown away, the madness in Wang Lin's eyes disappeared and turned into a dead calmness. However, that cruel smile still remained on his face. After losing the soul armor, the black-haired Wang Lin's cultivation level decreased, but his slaughter gas increased several-fold. In just a few breaths, the black gas around Wang Lin became even more dense, and he rushed toward the thousands of people. The slaughter continued as Empyrean Exalt High Z's heart trembled. Wang Lin was like a demon god. For every person he killed, another strand of slaughter would appear around him. Every person he killed made Empyrean Exalt High Z feel even more unfamiliar toward Wang Lin. Amidst this crazed slaughter, thousands of bodies were torn apart after just a moment. Wang Lin's body was surrounded by endless strands of black gas, and his body could no longer be seen. Just at this moment, the disappeared finger appeared outside the black gas around Wang Lin and mercilessly pointed toward him. However, before the finger could land, Wang Lin grabbed it and mercilessly pulled it while laughing. With this, half an arm was pulled out. Come out for me. Wang Lin roared as he pulled the AMR out. The world rumbled and the arm collapsed. That muffled groan came from the void again. Everyone, enter this place and kill this person. A voice filled with killing intent came from the void. As the voice echoed, figures rapidly appeared from the side of the street. Tens of thousands of figures appeared. They completely ignored Empyrean Exalt High Z and charged at Wang Lin. The black-haired Wang Lin retreated a few steps, now surrounded by a large amount of black gas. The death in his eyes formed a startling contrast with the cruel smile on his face. He raised his hand and mercilessly hit his forehead. Five-element true body, get out of here. With this, Wang Lin's body trembled and an overlapping shape appeared over his body. His five-element true body was knocked out from his body. The five-element true body was knocked out and its expression was extremely serious. He appeared beside Empyrean Exalt High Z and gazed over. After losing the five-element true body, Wang Lin's cultivation level decreased, but the slaughter aura around him became even more pure. Restriction essence, get out of here. Absolute beginning essence, get out of here. Thunder essence, also get out of here. The black-haired Wang Lin continued to roar until his essences were knocked out of his body. At this moment, the tens of thousands of figures closed in. Inside the black gas, Wang Lin raised his head. The death in his eyes remained the same, but the cruel smile had dissipated a lot. He charged toward the tens of thousands of people and began a slaughter. Thunderous rumbles echoed, and a moment later, Wang Lin was knocked back, coughing out blood. He felt like his body was going to break. No matter how strong he was, he could not survive the attacks of tens of thousands of people. Life and death, karma, and true and false, get out of here. The black-haired Wang Lin let out a roar and his body trembled. His three ethereal essences were forced out of his body as well. At this moment, the black-haired Wang Lin only had two essences, slaughter and absolute end. There were also no essence true bodies, only his original body. The black gas around his body suddenly shrank into a black robe around him. His hair had turned completely black. His eyes were filled with death and there was no longer a smile on his mouth. He looked like the embodiment of death. He calmly looked at the tens of thousands of people rushing toward him and closed his eyes. When he closed his eyes, the tens of thousands of people trembled, and when he reopened his eyes, they all disappeared before him. What disappeared was also the street and the houses on the side. They became ruins and dust in history. Even the snowflakes turned black as they fell. Restrain the heavenly Tao. All souls beneath the heavens must suffer divine tribulation. Free thyself from convictions that lead only to destruction and walk the path of the true Tao, Wang Lin muttered as he raised his right hand to grab the finger that had suddenly appeared beside him. Then he lightly squeezed it. With a crackling sound, the finger was crushed. With one pull, a figure emitting white light was pulled out of the void. Wang Lin let out a roar and waved his hand. The sun formed by sundered night swept forward and bombarded everything in its path. The night dissipated and the figure that appeared collapsed after colliding with the sun. As the rumbling echoed, the surrounding light disappeared and returned to normal. It was still the same long street and the wind and snow covered the world. However, there were 7 gaps in Wang Lin's clothes. 7 of the arrow fragments hadn't collapsed in the sun, and they had pierced through Wang Lin's body. Blood flowed out from his mouth and he staggered back a few steps. His right hand formed a fist and he punched the edge of the long street that was sealed. When his punch landed, the void around the long street began to distort. A ring-shaped shield appeared like a bowl and shrouded the street. The moment before the ripples disappeared, Wang Lin saw that there were 10,000 cultivators in black sitting outside the street. These black-robed cultivators seemed to be connected together through a kind of force. It was them that had sealed this place with this strange force. You can't escape. A calm voice echoed across the street. As the voice echoed, the collapsed finger appeared once more. In order to kill you, I will send out my sect's strongest power. As the voice echoed, the ripples on the street disappeared. When the ripples disappeared, the outside world Wang Lin was seeing became blurry until it was a void with nothing inside. However, the moment the images of the outside disappeared, Wang Lin saw that 100 people among the 10,000 had each devoured a pill. Their bodies collapsed and smoke-like origin souls flew toward the long street that had been sealed. At the same time, 100 blurry shadows appeared in the wind and snow. They all released Empyrean Exalt cultivation and charged at Wang Lin while completely disregarding their lives. Wang Lin's eyes were calm, but there a hint of light in them as he looked through the 100 figures rushing at him. His gaze fell on the finger that had reformed and was floating there motionlessly. Since you don't want me to leave, then I won't leave today. The best way to deal with this death trap is to kill all of you. This trap will break when I do that. Wang Lin's white hair began to extend and the roots turned black, looking as if his hair was going to turn black. His eyes revealed a sense of ruthlessness in the calmness. This was an indifference to the world, and there wasn't any hint of emotion in them. At this moment, Wang Lin was like a piece of never-melting ice. I originally didn't want slaughter to descend, but now all of you must now suffer my slaughter. Wang Lin closed his eyes. It was as if a battle celestial had descended. For the first time, his slaughter thunder avatar had taken control. It was also the first time Wang Lin had released the restriction essence and the absolute beginning essence. This allowed the slaughter and absolute end essences to erupt. The roar of slaughter and destruction fused together to form the slaughter thunder that would erase all life. This thunder contained destruction and was the framework of annihilation. Its existence was the source of all darkness in the world, the expression of all death and destruction. When Wang Lin opened his eyes, they contained no light, they were completely dark. This darkness replaced his pupils, and his hair turned completely black. Long, black hair and black eyes. I wonder if I can even pass the first palace in the Empyrean trial in my current state. There was a smile on the corner of Wang Lin's mouth, but if anyone saw this smile, they would feel a chill. This was not a smile of joy, but cruelty. When Empyrean Exalt High Z saw Wang Lin's smile from a distance, her entire body turned cold. She felt like the Wang Lin she was familiar with had become a complete stranger. The black-haired Wang Lin made her feel extreme fear, as if he was a natural enemy of hers. Her body trembled and she retreated several steps. The finger that had appeared in the void slowly withdrew. It was as if the void contained a pair of eyes filled with shock. Let the slaughter begin. Wang Lin jumped into the air and a rumble echoed from his body. Countless bolts of black thunder appeared around Wang Lin. He let out a roar at the sky and they shot toward the hundreds of figures coming toward him. These hundreds of figures normally wouldn't feel fear. They were death cultivators, and their goal was to die to complete their task. Even their emotions were suppressed and almost erased. However, at this moment, when they heard the black-haired Wang Lin's roar, their hearts trembled. However, they no longer had a path of retreat, so they charged at him together. The black-haired Wang Lin's smile revealed cruelty and his eyes were filled with madness. As he stepped forward, he closed in on the hundreds of people. He waved his right hand and the black thunder formed a net. Thunderous rumbles echoed as the dozens of people in front all self-destructed when the net closed in. The power of the self-destruction collided with the thunder net. But the strange part was that although this force could destroy the world, it was very fragile before this net. The thunder net scattered into countless nets and shot forward. Anyone who was touched by this thunder trembled and their body shattered. Wang Lin walked like the wind. Facing these hundreds of people, thunder continued to spread out from his body. Anyone who charged at him was destroyed. He moved very fast and appeared behind a figure in an instant. He raised his right hand and pointed at the figure. Black thunder shot out and the cultivator trembled before exploding. Wang Lin's body trembled and he continued to kill. He seemed to no longer feel fatigue or know of injuries. The power of the self-destructions bombarded him, but it was not able to cause him to pause at all. In a short period of time, more than half of the figures died to Wang Lin's thunder. The remaining 100 people gathered to form a formation when someone roared, "Bind formation." The earth trembled and energy seemed to erupt from below. The 100 people turned into a giant palm. This palm was black and reached directly for Wang Lin. Wang Lin didn't pause. He raised his hand and hundreds of black thunderbolts appeared. The destruction and killing intent within them formed black gas that covered Wang Lin. They flew toward the palm like countless meteors. Rumble, 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 rumble. The palm suddenly collapsed and the 100 people inside all died. When Wang Lin walked out, blood was flowing out of his mouth, but the madness in his eyes had become even more intense. As he stepped forward, Ripples echoed in the void before him. The finger that had disappeared suddenly reappeared and pointed to between Wang Lin's eyebrows. "You're not the Imperial teacher." Wang Lin didn't look at the figure emitting white light. He loosened his right hand and directly grabbed the figure's neck before squeezing again. The figure trembled violently and suddenly collapsed. You're not Wang Lin. Who are you?" Empyrean Exalt Haizi's voice was filled with fear as it echoed in this silent night. The black-haired Wang Lin turned and coldly looked at Haizi as he walked over. Who are you?" Empyrean Exalt Haizi was extremely pale. Her beautiful eyes were filled with indescribable fear. Her body subconsciously retreated as Wang Lin walked over. "Wang Lin? I'm not called Wang Lin. My name. I should be Slaughter." The black-haired Wang Lin slowly walked toward Empyrean Exalt Haizi. His expression was cold, without any emotion. It was extremely indifferent. Wang Lin's five-element true body had an extremely serious expression. He was beside Empyrean Exalt Haizi, staring at the black-haired Wang Lin. Around him, the Thunder Essence, the Absolute Beginning Essence, and the three ethereal essences lit up as if they were joining together to resist the black-haired Wang Lin. Slaughter has descended onto this world and replaced light to become destruction. All life must endure endless suffering. Empyrean Exalt Haizi retreated in fear when Wang Lin's five-element true body walked forward. He represented his many essences to confront the black-haired Wang Lin. "You're just my five-element true body and essences, and you want to stop me?" The black-haired Wang Lin looked at the five-element true body. "Since I appeared, I'll not return until the slaughter and destruction are complete." "You disappear?" The black-haired Wang Lin's eyes contained no light as he waved his hand at the five-element true body. With this wave, the five-element true body revealed a sign of struggle but instantly collapsed. The true body turned back into the five essences and flew toward black-haired Wang Lin's right hand before disappearing. "Now, tell me who you are." The black-haired Wang Lin stopped before Empyrean Exalt Haizi and looked at her. His voice was cold and contained killing intent. Empyrean Exalt Haizi's face was pale and she opened her mouth to say something, but in the end, didn't say anything. "Ju Di didn't invite me to Mount Emperor, isn't that the case? This trap used you as bait to lure me out, isn't that the case?" Empyrean Exalt Haizi, your identity, aside from being a disciple of Grand Empyrean Ju Di, you should also be part of the Imperial Teachers sect. Isn't that the case? Back at the Mountain Sea, the broken palm didn't go crazy. It chose to attack you because you are the same as me. Neither of us belongs to the immortal astral continent. I came from the cave world, and you came from outside the immortal astral continent. That is to say, the Imperial Teachers sect came from outside the immortal astral continent, the black-haired Wang Lin said calmly, and every word made Empyrean Exalt Haizi's face even paler. She bit her lower lip and remained silent for a long time before looking up at Wang Lin. "My original body is still a bit too soft." He should have seen through it, but he chose not to believe it. The black-haired Wang Lin shook his head. His gaze was heartless as he raised his palm and smashed down on Empyrean Exalt Haizi. He was going to kill her. This palm was enough to destroy Empyrean Exalt Haizi's body and origin soul. Empyrean Exalt Haizi didn't dodge. She closed her eyes and tears flowed from the corner of her eyes. She didn't explain anything at all. The palm closed in on Empyrean Exalt Haizi. It was less than 3 inches away and she looked like she was about to collapse. At this moment, a sharp force that could break the world appeared out of thin air behind Empyrean Exalt Haizi. This force turned into a figure that had a slightly hunched back and looked like an old man. His left hand pulled Haizi back, and at the same time, he raised his right hand up to meet Wang Lin's palm. A thunderous rumble echoed and the black-haired Wang Lin's body trembled as he was knocked back. Popping sounds echoed inside his body as if he was going to explode. After he retreated 7 steps, his body collapsed into black gas but instantly reformed. The black-haired Wang Lin stopped at the 9th step. His expression was neutral and he was not surprised at all as he coldly looked at the old man that had saved Haizi. "Ju Di?" The old man was Grand Empyrean Ju Di. His expression was serious. After saving Hai Zi, he also looked at Wang Lin. The black-haired Wang Lin calmly said, "In this trap, aside from the Imperial Teacher's power, there is also you. Destruction and slaughter. I had wondered what you used to pass the 17th palace. With your cultivation level, just the soul armor is not enough to reach that level. So it turns out you have the power that represents slaughter and destruction." Ju Di's pupils shrank slightly. That palm contained the power of a Grand Empyrean, but it had only forced Wang Lin back 9 steps. "Is this the reason you participated in this trap, or did you only notice this trap and took advantage of the situation to resolve the doubts in your mind?" The black-haired Wang Lin's calm eyes became even more cold. After he spoke, he actually charged toward Ju Di. This was his first time attacking a Grand Empyrean. However, his charge didn't cause Ju Di to feel contempt, it made him become even more serious. He raised his right hand and the world changed colors. The wind and snow condensed into a huge snow sword that swept toward Wang Lin. "I represent destruction and control slaughter." The black-haired Wang Lin raised his hand and punched at the snow sword as it fell. This punch collided with the snow sword and a thunderous rumble echoed. The snow sword collapsed, but Wang Lin's body also collapsed into countless strands of black gas. He suddenly changed directions and rushed toward Ju Di. Ju Di frowned. As the large amount of black gas closed in, he raised his hand and formed a circle before him. In an instant, bright light shined like the sun had appeared. This light formed a seal, and it rapidly spread from his hand. The light scattered and collided with the incoming black gas. It was like a confrontation between darkness and light. The light dissipated and Ju Di didn't move at all, but his eyes revealed a monstrous light. The black gas before him covered the light and reformed into the black-haired Wang Lin before Ju Di. "You can't beat this old man." Grand Empyrean Ju Di looked at Wang Lin. His old face showed signs of returning toward middle age as his eyes shined. The black-haired Wang Lin slowly said, "You can't hide from destruction and slaughter." White-haired Ascendant Empyrean. Black-haired Ascendant Empyrean. "Wang Lin, I underestimated you. This time, Hai Zi is innocent. I will give this to you and the matter today is over." Ju Di reached at the void and there was a flash of golden light. A palm-sized golden fragment appeared in his hand. "I have observed your body and found traces of this sword. This fragment can help your metal essence reach completion." Ju Di waved his right hand and the fragment flew toward Wang Lin. It floated before him motionlessly. After giving him the sword fragment, Ju Di looked at Wang Lin profoundly. He then turned and left with Empyrean Exalt Hai Zi, who was still silently pondering. After he disappeared, the seal around the street disappeared, but the ruins would remain eternally. In the distance, the sun gradually appeared to dissipate the darkness and shroud the earth in light. The black-haired Wang Lin stood there and looked up at the sky. He silently pondered for a long time. As time passed, the sun rose into the sky and the light spread out like a ripple. The light rapidly spread across the eastern city. When the ripples that represented the light arrived at the street, Wang Lin still didn't move. He looked at the light that got closer and closer until it swept past his body. His hair gradually turned white from black as the light swept by. The coldness and indifference in his eyes turned into fatigue and bleakness. Wang Lin didn't use any method to forcibly suppress the slaughter from descending on his original body, because he understood that once his slaughter descended, nothing could be changed. From now on, under the sun, I'm white-haired Wang Lin. In the dark, I'm black-haired slaughter. Like the sunrise and sunset, it is very difficult to change. Fortunately, I have the power from the avatar in the void to suppress it slightly and remain conscious. Black and white eternally remained on Wang Lin's body. Wang Lin sighed. He no longer intended to pursue Hai Zi. He waved his right hand to take the sword fragment and picked up the heavenly bull soul armor before walking into the distance. It's time to leave. Everything in this celestial clan, whether it is its secret or origin, I no longer want to think about it. Wang Lin's figure disappeared into the distance. It was now dawn and the snow continued to fall. This snow lasted for a long time. In the early morning 2 days later, the snow had covered the earth like a thick layer of cotton clothing. On the early morning after 2 days, Wang Lin, Liu Jinbiao, and the sea dragon stood outside the eastern gate. He looked behind at the ancestral city and calmly waited. Shortly after, as Liu Jinbiao waited in excitement, he saw two figures appear in the distance. One of them wore a big red shirt. It was Shuligua. Shuligua's face was filled with confusion. He felt like something had been calling him in these last few days. It was due to this feeling that he arrived at the eastern gate. Beside him, the madman walked with swagger. He had also come here because he felt that something was calling him, like with Shuligua. It made him upset, so he had decided to come. "Eh? It's you. Damn it, you still to appear before this king." When the madman saw Wang Lin, his eyes immediately widened. He rolled up his sleeves and was about to rush forward. When Shuligua saw Wang Lin, he was also startled. Wang Lin sighed as he looked at the madman charging at him. He looked at Shuligua and slowly said, "Shuligua, I'm about to leave. Are you going to stay here or come with me?" When his words entered Shuligua's mind, his mind to rumble. A layer of seal was loosened and the memories of the past appeared in his mind. This video will end here.